It was a quiet summer morning when I received the letter from the Homeowners Association, HOA. I had been living in my secluded lake cabin for years, enjoying the peaceful solitude and the beauty of nature. But the letter in my hands was anything but peaceful. It was a formal eviction notice, claiming that I was violating some obscure HOA rules about property boundaries and parking. Confused and more than a little irritated, I decided to take a closer look at the situation. The HOA had no real grounds to kick me out, but they were persistent. They argued that the lot I owned didn't extend as far as my cabin sat, and that I was encroaching on shared property. The letter even threatened legal action if I didn't comply. I'd heard stories before of aggressive HOA boards, but this was ridiculous. I wasn't just a tenant or some newcomer trying to bend the rules. I owned the entire lot. In fact, I owned more than just my cabin. I owned the whole stretch of land, including the dock that the HOA seemed to think was theirs. So, I decided. It was time to confront them. I contacted a lawyer and gathered every scrap of legal documentation proving my ownership. After hours of searching through the deeds and maps, I was more than confident that my property stretched well beyond what the HOA claimed. The land, the cabin, and even the dock by the lake were all legally mine. I wasn't some rogue tenant. I was the rightful owner of the land they thought they controlled. Armed with this information, I walked into the HOA meeting. The board members were shocked when I presented my case. It turned out they had been misinformed about the property. Boundaries and their attempt to evict me was based on an error in their records. I calmly explained that I was happy to abide by any rules, but they had no claim over my land. In the end, the HOA was forced to apologize for their mistake. They backed down and promised to correct their records. I walked away from that meeting, with my cabin and land untouched, but I also realized something important. Always double-check the facts before anyone tries to take what's rightfully yours.